With all the exciting content coming to Star Citizen 3.18, also comes a full database wipe. That means you will be starting completely fresh with the ships you have purchased for real money, any items attributed to your account, and your starting Alpha UEC, the currency in Star Citizen. How much money you have depends on several factors, but the starting money for most of us is too small to achieve any of our goals when on a fresh account. Now, before you think about what you're going to do in-game, you have to choose a location to start in. And there are a number of changes made in 3.18 that would make the location I used to recommend change completely. I previously would have said start in New Babbage or maybe Area 18, but now it is a clear decision to start at Orison and Crusader. It has a transit system that works fairly consistently, and most of the best upgrades made to ships are sold here. Crusader has the most missions available, as well as the only place to clear your crime stat, Security Post Korea. What you do post-wipe depends heavily on the goals that I mentioned earlier that you could have. Earning ships is a big one. Many players start out with only one ship. As you know, there are a number of ships that unlock the ability to experience entirely different types of gameplay and features in Star Citizen. There are mining ships, there are salvage ships, there are ships with medical beds for healing, and some that you can even respawn in after you die. Some players start out with a lot of ships that they've purchased, but no matter how many you have, the components you need to be the most effective are purchased at the in-game shops, and the bigger the ships, the more money the components cost. Weapons and armor for your character are another goal for players who like to spend time outside of their ships. And what is unique about some of these is that there are a number of weapons, typically the more powerful ones, well, they're not purchasable in-game at all. They can only be found. In order to achieve any of these goals, you're going to need one thing: money. It used to be simple when Star Citizen only had a few features, but now things are more up to your preference. Because of that, let's break down your money-making options based on your style of play. Love ship combat? You could do the tried and true bounty missions. Start out with the introductory mission for the Bounty Hunters Guild under the Bounties tab on your Mobiglass, and then you can choose to gain reputation in whatever jurisdiction you desire. As you complete these missions, your reputation will rise, and you will be offered more difficult missions, as well as group bounties that pay very well, but you have to travel around a bit. There are also new versions of these PvE ship combat missions found under the Service Beacons tab on your Mobiglass, titled Combat Service Beacons, where you save an NPC from another pirate NPC, attacking them for a little bit of variety. What is cool about these is the rep grind is much shorter, and the missions are very repeatable to the point where you can make a lot of money per hour. As a side note, keep an eye out for the Xeno Threat Dynamic event, as this is a heavily ship combat related event, and you can earn quite a hefty amount of money per hour as well. Enjoy FPS gameplay. There are security missions where you go down to bunkers and kill NPCs, and on Crusader there is a new version of this on the platforms. And what's cool about these is you can fly your ship directly to the towers that you're going to clear, and there's no dealing with turrets, which is a big annoyance at these security missions. I would argue these missions are the least fleshed out for making money, but they are starting to focus more on this area in 3.18, especially with some of the retrieval op and derelict missions that are also available. This is the best way to grind FPS weapons if you aren't planning on buying any, or you want some of those really good ones, because there's a ton of loot containers at all FPS mission locations. Similar to ship combat, there are events that are mostly FPS focused, and the main one would be Jump Town. You do have to get out of your ship to move boxes, but this is more of a battlefield type scenario as it has more combined arms feelings to it. Keep an eye out for this one as it has changed completely for 3.18 and the money-making potential is very high with a good group. For smaller groups, they have an always-on version of this at Security Post Korea orbiting Selin. Kill some NPC guards, then a boss will spawn. You can kill them, and you will unlock access to some high-value items to sell at some seedy locations around the system. Full guide is on this channel and will be linked down below, but this will likely be my go-to for FPS-based content in this patch. Keep in mind there is a 100% FPS-focused dynamic event called Siege of Orison as well, which also has a ton of money-making potential. Don't like the combat side of the game? Mining is the oldest and most fleshed out feature. There are 3 ways to mine: ship-based with the Prospector or the Mole, you can do vehicle mining with the Greycat ROC, or hand mining with a multi-tool. With ship-based mining, they also have refining that doubles the value of raw ore to sell. At the moment, mining isn't in the best place, but it is still profitable. There are a lot of changes coming to the 3.19 patch to mining, so get subscribed for updates and guides as they release. Salvage is the newest and I think the easiest addition to 3.18 for making money. You will find some wreckage around, strip its hull, and create recycled material composite or RMC. It's super chill and highly profitable. The ships used for hull stripping are the Reclaimer or the Vulture. You can earn the Reclaimer in game now, but the Vulture is not yet for sale, but it probably will be in 3.19. Racing is something I've not taken part in, but the rewards are quite strong. So if you come from a racing background, there are a number of tracks that can be earned through reputation by doing well in the current tracks that you have access to. The harder the track, the better the reward, as well as there are 3 reward levels, with Platinum being the top spot rewarding the most money. And last and maybe least is cargo hauling. Players with ships that can carry cargo stand to make a lot of money, but the risk is increasingly high given this is essentially the pirate patch. Any trading you do, players can loot everything you have on you, and as far as I can tell, the team at CIG have not adjusted the supply and demand for this patch, so the popular trade lanes are still known. If you are interested in this type of gameplay, I suggest checking out some third-party sites linked down below for some trade runs, and I wish you the best, as it is a really satisfying way to play the game. And that's it, guys. This is my 3.18 wipe guide. In the end, it's all about making money and you choosing your own goals for what you want to achieve in the patch. One day we will have a real meaningful progression path, but in my opinion, these are the best times in current Star Citizen, as you get to simulate that day one feel of an MMO when you're really kind of able to feel your character's progression. And if you enjoyed this video and got something out of it, please leave a like, share the video with anyone you think can get something out of it, and get subscribed for more. Also, if you haven't yet, check out the Security Post Correa guide, as it is a seriously action-packed location.